Are we in store for a looming recession? And if so, what can we do to prepare for it? Before I get started today, I just wanted to tell you that this video is in no way given as financial advice, and it was made for entertainment purposes only. If you have any questions about your financial situation, please contact a financial advisor or someone that you work with to take care of your finances. These are just things that I've been researching and look up and things that I do. So what is a recession exactly? Well, according to the experts, a recession is typically when you see 2 quarters of negative growth in the economy. So because we only have 1 quarter left in 2024, it's very unlikely between the election and the fact we only have 1 quarter left that we're due to have any kind of a recession in 2024. But there is a lot of talk on the horizon, and there has been for a couple years about a pending recession. So how likely are we to have one in 2025? Well, let me just tell you the 2 things that kind of are indicators of a recession that's coming in the works. So the first thing is called the SAHM rule, S-A-H-M. Now, I got this information from Forbes, but I also looked up information on the Federal Reserve. And so the SAHM rule is just this. It states that when inflation rises significantly in 1 year, that it implies that there could be a recession in the near future. And the reason that that happens is because when inflation rises, people stop spending as much money. And because they stop spending as much money, it affects jobs. So that's why people are always watching the jobs reports that are coming out. So the employment situation report for July 2024 showed unemployment was at 4.3%, and that was up from 3.5% last year. And although these numbers are relatively low, it does show that there is a bit of an increase. The second thing is the yield curve. Now, the yield curve has been calling for a recession for the last 2 years, and the yield curve follows the way that interest rates are increased by the Federal Reserve to take care of inflation. Rates have been coming up over the last couple of years. Housing rates are higher, interest rates on all types of things, car loans, everything, they've been going up. And that is an indicator that a recession is coming when you have inflation that's going up and the Fed is actually trying to bring it down by increasing interest rates. Now, the good part to this story is that just last week, the Feds met and they lowered the interest rate by 0.5%. So, it's anybody's guess. I don't know. But those are the 2 things to look at when we're trying to determine if there's any kind of a recession coming. I'm not a genie. I don't have a bottle. And so I really can't tell you. But based on the New York Federal Reserve and JP Morgan also does a really good job of kind of tracking recessions and things like that. There is a possibility of a recession in 2025 based on the ones that I've looked at. So the big question is this: what are you doing to prepare for a recession? And honestly, even if there isn't a recession, some of these things I'm going to talk about are going to be great ways to just prepare yourself to be in a better position, whether there's a recession or not. So let's look at the 5 things that we can do to prepare for a looming recession. So the very first thing that I would think is important, and I've done in my own life, is to take an inventory of your current financial situation. Sit down and look at the cash you have on hand, the debt that you have, and then the other thing that I would look at are any pending things that you think might be coming up in the near future that are going to take an influx of cash. Maybe you have a child that's getting married, or you've got, pending health situation that's going to take, money from you, or you've got a new baby on the way or a grandbaby. All those things could deeply impact your financial situation over the next year. And if you have cash on hand, do you have enough to survive if there was a recession that came in 2025? The experts recommend 3 to 6 months of your monthly nut that you have to pay in savings to get through a recession. But in my opinion, I think really 12 months is a better number to have on hand. Now, that might not be something you can put together between now and the end of the year, but it is something to shoot for in the future if at all possible. And the reason is because if you should lose your job, or your spouse loses their job, or something happens that is unexpected, something you're not prepared for, oftentimes, especially in a recession, it's not going to be as easy to find a new job. The second thing that I think is most important after you've analyzed your financial situation is to pay off your debt. A lot of people don't agree with that. They feel that debt is good. It brings on a healthy FICO score. And I don't think so. I think debt is always a negative thing. Now, most people have a house payment. Some people have car payments. I'm talking about student loan debt, credit card debt, debt you might owe to family members or friends. I mean, it's a good idea to start whittling away at all those things. And a lot of times people are making the minimum payments on things, which makes it even worse, because you think about it, some of these interest rates are 25, 30%. And if you're making a minimum payment and you're paying 25 to 30% on the balance of what you owe, sometimes that interest accumulating can be more than what you can pay in a minimum payment. So if you can get ahead of that by paying off debt and looking at what you really can take care of, that is going to be one of the biggest things that's going to help you through a recession. Number 3 on my list is take stock of your career opportunities. Now, this may sound like a funny thing to look at if you're employed and doing well in your job, but in a recession, things can turn quickly. So maybe it's time to look at other jobs that maybe might be more stable. Maybe it's time to look at a second job or even a third job to help pay off debt and get money accumulated in cash. When my husband and I had the college debt that we were taking care of, I had both of my sons in college at the same time, and it was very expensive. We had a very expensive payment every month. Thankfully, the school that they went to allowed us to make a monthly payment over a year to take care of that, but it still was more than we could pay out of our weekly paychecks. So during those 4 years, him and I both worked 3 jobs. Now, we didn't have any time for anything extra. My house was a disaster area. I had no time for anything. But we wanted that debt paid off when those kids got their college education. And we did just that. The day they got their diploma was the day that our college for them was paid for. So it can be done. And sometimes it's not that fun, but there are lots of jobs now available that are part-time jobs that you can do at home, you can do online, some things you can do on your phone. So look at different side hustles you can do if it's something you're interested in, and maybe start working on the debt and see what happens with that. Now, number 4 on my list is still related to number 1, and that is after you've analyzed your situation and you work at paying off your debt, buff up your cash savings. That is going to be what gets you through the recession and makes you feel the most safe, the most comfortable, and the less anxiety in your life. I mean, even if all things go south, and say you lost your job during a recession, or who knows what else could happen, but if you have cash in the bank that you can rely on and go to, that maybe is not your retirement money, you'll have a better peace of mind and a better night's sleep. And number 5 on my list is research. Take stock of your situation. Yes, you've done that. You've looked at your financial situation and you've taken stock of it. But now, do something a little bit different. Start researching yourself. Look into what these different economists are saying and, try to get as much information as you can. For me, I can't speak for everyone, but for myself, I feel like information's power. And when I know these different things, I feel so much better about my present, my future, everything that's going on. So I try to read and get as much information as I can about things. It really helps me. If you're looking at your own situation and you feel like you need to make some changes, my only recommendation would be research and talk to someone who has a really good financial background, perhaps a financial advisor. There's a lot of certified financial planners out there that might be able to look at your situation with you and help you come up with a plan. And I think all that is really good. So I don't know if there's a recession coming. There could be, there may not be. I don't know. Maybe the Fed did enough over the last couple of years, to keep things healthy. It's been a really strange market. I mean, I've been waiting for a recession for a long time and it hasn't come yet. Doesn't mean it's not just hanging over there somewhere where we can't see. So prepare. Get your ducks in a row, as my grandma would say. Get your ducks in a row. And anyway, good luck to you. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, please consider subscribing. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring the bell for future notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.